Controversy surrounding the Agyapa minerals royalties deal, vowing to prosecute all MPP officials found to have dissipated public funds if they win this year's elections, after it emerged that $12 million has so far been spent on the botched vehicle.
That the next NDC government will investigate the stinky $12 million Agyapa scandal, retrieve all illegal payments made under same, and ensure that all the perpetrators are prosecuted.
Last week, before the Public Accounts Committee in Parliament, it emerged that government had so far spent $12 million in an attempt to set up the botched Agyapa mineral royalties vehicle in 2020. The minerals trading vehicle, which was established as a special purpose vehicle for trading mineral resources on behalf of government, came under serious public criticism from civil society organizations who raised questions about transparency and viability of the venture, leading to its suspension. Now, listen to the Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Income Investment Fund, Edward Naya-Kranting, addressing the Public Accounts Committee.
Because this was an IPO, and as honorable members are aware, for every IPO, consultants, etc. come in, the establishment of an office in the United Kingdom and also in Ghana, etc. come into place. So there have been expenses. The whole idea was for MIF to be reimbursed after the IPO. But as the IPO is now suspended, until that suspension is lifted, we can't move on with Agyapa.
How much have you spent so far in relation to Agyapa?
I'll get the exact figure, but it should be circa, should be around 12 million. 12 million? Yeah.
Dollars?
$12 million, right? $12 million.
Okay.
Yes.
Which is hanging now?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay.
Agyapa, the expense was towards an IPO. So it is important that the MIF and Agyapa and even Ministry of Finance look at how we could even use the company, it being a royalties company, for our purposes. So the IPO, for such an extensive global IPO, usually such expenses have to be incurred for you to have an IPO. Unfortunately, in the investment bank, well, this is what happens. So it is up to us to look at how we strategize in using this as a royalties company. As honorable members may be aware, a lot of the time the royalties companies actually even make more money than the companies than the companies that are listed. So it was an opportunity, but again, we'll see how it goes. For us, we are not able to give a definite response to this because of the directions and from where the directions also came from.
Well, today the National Democratic Congress had been addressing a news conference on the matter. Here's the National Communications Officer, Sambi Jemfi.
During the committee's consideration of the report, the CEO of MIF stated that this colossal amount was spent on the setting up of the Agyapa SPV, the payment of so-called consultancy fees, and the rental of office space, and the processes leading to the initial public offering towards the listing of Agyapa royalties on the London Stock Exchange. This is what they claim to have spent 153 million cedis, equivalent to 1.5 trillion old Ghana cedis on. The Ghanaian public was taken aback by these disclosures, which add to the never-ending list of corruption scandals that have plagued the nation under the watch of President Akufo-Addo and his corrupt protege, Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia.
He announced a plan fully backed by the main opposition party to track down and prosecute all persons in the current administration found to have dissipated public funds.
I stand here with the full blessing of the next President of the Republic of Ghana, Inshallah, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to inform you, and by extension the good people of Ghana, that the next NDC government will investigate the stinky $12 million Agyapa scandal, retrieve all illegal payments made under SIM, and ensure that all the perpetrators are prosecuted. The day of accountability and reckoning is fast approaching, and no one found culpable will be left off the hook by the next NDC Mahama government. This is a solemn pledge and I charge to keep when, by the grace of God and the good people of Ghana, the NDC assumes the reins of government in 2025. We call on the Ghanaian electorate not to allow President Akufo-Addo and his corrupt cabal of family and friends install as president their puppet, Alhaji Bawumia.
And I want to bring in right now the chairman of the Mines and Energy Committee in Parliament, Samuel Atacha, into the conversation. We'll also be joined shortly by the National Communications Officer of the party of the NDC, Sami Jimfi. Mr. Atacha, thanks for your time here on Top Story.
Yes, my pleasure as always.
So the NDC's position is very clear. The CEO of MIF says $12 million have been spent so far. We know this has been botched. Fair to actually get into this a bit more and prosecute those who dissipated funds?
Well, in the first instance, this is a very glorified propaganda, which is passing off as if they are concerned about the financial health of the nation. Because I do not even understand why they want to now connect this thing to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. So let's try and separate facts from, politics and propaganda. You know, when this gentleman appeared, the MIF boss appeared before the committee. He didn't even detail the components of the $12 million.
Well, he said a few things, though. For example, he said a few things that gave the indication of what it was spent on. For example, he says they spent it on offices in the UK and then also on consultancy. And he says all that was towards the IPO.
I agree, but that was not a good enough detail for Public Accounts Committee engagement. I've been there before. So, off the cuff commentary of this nature does not assist the committee. I thought the committee would have gone the further length to say that, can we have the detailed breakdown together with the accompanying receipts? Then we'll know whether there's a corruption dimension to this initial expenditure in trying to do this Agyapa deal. So I'm very cautious about some of these matters, and I don't want to go into that kind of political dimension to raw facts and data. And that is how we begin to develop the health of the nation. So when we say, okay, I don't have the full details as to how much was spent on rent, how much was paid for consultants, to consultants in trying to, roll out this project on the stock exchange and the rest of it. They rush to, a press conference for one major reason, to denigrate the name Bawumia. It leaves much to be desired.
Mr. Atacha, to spend $12 million on Agyapa Royalties minerals vehicle that we now know, for all intents and purposes, is dead in the water, amounts in many people's eye to causing financial loss to the state.
Well, let's have the details. If it's a misinvestment, it does not tantamount to corruption. We should know the details. What was involved with this matter? If it was an investment idea gone bad, it does not graduate into criminality. We all know. If you talk to anybody who is serious in the criminal laws of this country, you are talking Israel. A criminal, mind to achieve a criminal.
Hello, Mr.
Raw material for propaganda, then you are not helping the nation.
Let's interrogate this a bit more, Mr. Thatcher. Please stay with me. Let me bring in Ms. Sami Jemfi, who is the National Communications Officer of the NDC, who addressed the news conference today. Mr. Jemfi, thanks for your time here on Top Story. You make the conclusion that your party will prosecute all persons found in this corrupt act. That is assuming that there is indeed corruption. If you listen to the CEO, he specifies a few things that the money was used on. He says offices in the UK, consultants towards the IPO, and he explains that when you're dealing with such a global IPO, such expenses is normal practice. So why are you assuming that there's corruption there?
All right, thank you for having me, and a very good evening to senior brother, Honorable Samuel Atacha. He's a very senior lawyer at the bar, and he knows that illegality is a vitiating factor in any transaction. Now, we are not just talking about propaganda. We are not just raising issues to score political points. We are raising issues in the interest of the people of this country, because we know the challenges we are confronted with as a people. And we know what $12 million, equivalent to 153 million Ghana cedis, can do for us. Now, it is a fact that an institution of state mandated with the responsibility of investigating transactions like the Agyapa deal, in this case, the Office of Special Prosecutor, conducted a corruption risk assessment on the deal. The report was published. It is a matter of public record. Mr. Tachia can refer to that. The OSP was very clear that the Agyapa deal was illegal because it breached the Public Procurement Act. He said the whole transaction was fraught with procurement rigging and therefore breached the Public Procurement Act. He raised issues about breaches of other statutes like the Public Financial Management Act and even violations of the supreme law of the land, the 1992 Constitution. All the facts have been outlined clearly in the corruption risk assessment report published by the Office of Special Prosecutor. It is on the basis of these findings, damning findings of the OSP, that the President directed that the deal should be suspended. And so there is therefore no legal basis. There was no legal basis, if I can put it that way, for any payments to have been made under a deal which is illegal, a deal which infringes the law. That is the point we are making here. Because, number one, aside the fact that the nation has not derived any benefit or value from the botched, or if you like, the aborted Agyapa deal, no value, no benefit whatsoever. The deal sins against many laws of this country.
Well, Mr. Jemfi, on the subject of the corruption risk assessment, it was after that this deal was suspended, was it not? Do you have any evidence that any amount was spent post that? If this 12 million, that sounds was spent before.
We don't know for sure whether the money was spent post that.
Exactly my point to you earlier. You don't know for sure, but you made a conclusion that corruption has happened and you will prosecute people.
No, Evans, get this clear. If you make payments under a transaction which is illegal, a transaction which is unlawful, whether you make the payments before or after the determination that the transaction was unlawful is immaterial.
But who determined?
Must be retrieved.
Who determined that the transaction was unlawful?
If I can make my point, Evans.
Yeah, but if you can, this point you make so that we can clarify that. Who determined that the transaction was unlawful?
The Office of Special Prosecutor made that determination. It is on that basis, because government has not been able to rebut any of the findings, the factual, well-grounded findings of the Office of Special Prosecutor.
But they've not
been able to dispute the fact that data bank was not initially part of the bid. but through procurement rigging, they were slaughtered inside.
But you know that the OSP is not a court of competent jurisdiction.
No, hold on.
At best, it's an opinion.
If we should go by what you're saying, then no crime, nobody can say that the crime has been committed in this country or the country has lost money to corruption unless a determination is made by the courts. We of the NDC have always held the position that this deal was inimical to the interests of Ghana. We have stated that it was a bad deal. Our mineral royalties have been grossly undervalued and the same. We're not getting value for money. This was a position supported by all the civil society organizations in the extractive sector. The Office of Special Prosecutor, through transparent, credible investigations, corroborated our position. So that is the position we are standing by. And to the extent that the deal did not materialize, the deal has been suspended owing to the findings of the special if the special prosecutor was not a court and the president does not agree with the position of the special prosecutor, why suspend the deal?
Mr. Amidji, if you hold on for me, Mr. Thatcher, how do you respond to that? The corruption risk assessment that, in essence, terminated this deal.
Is to convert the thinking of NDC to the decision of a court of competent jurisdiction. We know what the law is like, that even a special prosecutor, when he's putting a credible dossier, will have to present the case before a competent jurisdiction. The accused persons will have the right of counsel. They present the evidence and the rest of it, and it will culminate in a decision. If we don't go this route, and we still believe that, in the name of propaganda, let's turn the laws of Ghana upside down, and in the convenience of a one-sided press conference, let's denigrate others. I'm afraid that is not democracy. That's propaganda. And they should rest assured that whatever it is, if it's a criminal matter, time will not sort of cancel out a criminal case. Whatever it is, whoever is in power, if they are interested in going to this matter, they should not conduct the case in the public domain. They should just put everything before a court. And I'm afraid we don't know the decision that informed the president to suspend the Agyapa deal. It could not come from the special prosecutor's point of view.
No, but the presidency issued a statement, and the suspension was clearly directly linked to the corruption risk assessment that was done.
Well, I'm not privy to that at all. The president is saying that by reason of the findings of the special prosecutor, this is the decision I've taken. I've not read one thing about it. You can help me if you have it.
I mean, on the back of Martin Amidu's, position on the matter, which was released then, the presidency issued a statement that in the interest of transparency, they're putting this on hold for now, whilst further work is done into that matter. That really triggered that decision that was taken at the time.
Well, I want to find a nexus. He might have put certain things in the public domain. The decision of the president to suspend it, whether it's connected with it or not, I'm not privy to that. What informed the president to do so? But I want to stress it strong. The findings of a special prosecutor is not final and binding. Nobody should convert that into law. Even the special prosecutor is subject to the course of this land in trying to bring a credible case, which you need to put forward your witnesses, and the rest of it will be done until we have a clear judgment, which will show who is guilty. Bear in mind that in this feverish pitch to succeed Akufo-Addo, NDC should not, sort of make fetish of every issue as if everything is criminal. This nation is not safe with this level of propaganda. And press conferences are not just, conclusive evidence of culpability or criminality, as it were. And I want to stress also, let's be careful that if there was a poor error of judgment in the investment in Agyapa, it will not tantamount to criminality unless we establish the mens rea and the actus reus.
Mr. Thatcher, so you've heard the CEO of the MIF say they spent $12 million on something that we know now is dead in the water. You've questioned why the park did not probe further to get the full details when it actually relates to what the money was spent on. It's not too late, is it? I mean, you are the chair of the Mines and Energy Committee. Is it something that you're interested in and you would use your own office to get to the bottom of this?
We are very much interested in that. You see, matters of this nature touch on the public press. And therefore, we have the power to bring the MIF boss to say that, could you please give us the constituents of this huge amount? And then we will be talking factually. But if not, this omnibus figure, which we don't know what, it's a certain matter of good discussion. In fact, we will be able to know whether some matters were over the top or was within industry practice before even the imputation of criminality will make sense.
So will you do this?
We have to. I don't have a choice. We're going to bring him before the committee, and he should give us the components of this huge sum of money. And of course, there are members of the NDC on the committee. He could be grilled to bring the understanding to bear on the matter. But now I'm of the view that we can have a good and meaningful discussion. Apart from that, making Baumia connected with Agyapa is a vile propaganda. We shouldn't encourage it in this kind of politicking we are going on.
Mr. Jemfi, you back that move by the Mines and Energy Committee to look into this?
The position that Mr. Atachia has taken on this matter is very, very bizarre, very, very intriguing. I mean, how can you describe the findings of an institution of state like the Office of Special Prosecutor as propaganda? How can you describe the reliance on the findings of the Office of the Special Prosecutor as a denigration of somebody? And why should you have a problem if Bawumia and President Akufo-Addo, or who have ultimate responsibility for the governance of this country, are held liable for illegal payments that have provided no benefit or value to the state? Listen, Evans, let's just simplify this matter. 153 million Ghana cedis of our money as a country has been paid to a company that provided no services, no value, or no benefit to the nation. They claim to have spent the money on consultancy services. If you pay a consultant for a service and the service never goes through, the deal never materializes, what is a reasonable thing for you to do? If Mr. Atachia's son uses Mr. Atachia's money to pay a consultant for a particular service, and Mr. Atachia annuls that transaction, will Mr. Atachia not reasonably expect that his child will go to the consultant for a refund? Why is it that till date, these monies which have been paid to consultants, including Gabi Ochredako's law firm, cousin to President Akufo-Addo, Kenoforieta's company, Databank, for no work done?
But you know that hasn't been established yet. That hasn't been established yet.
No, it has been established beyond doubt.
Who established
that?
Oh
my God!
Who established
that? African Legal Associates received payments under the Agyapa deal. Gabi
but who established
is on record to have published the figures. You can check.
So your sources
is also on record to have received payments under the botched illegal Agyapa deal. Now, if in the Waterville case, the Woyome case, the Isofoton case, the MPP were up in arms on grounds that payments had been paid under unconstitutional or illegal agreements which were null and void, and therefore refunds had to be made. How can Mr. Atachia, in good conscience, tell his constituents and the people listening to him that if we in the opposition are demanding refunds of these monies which have been paid to entities who have done no work to benefit this country, we are doing propaganda, we are denigrating people? What kind of
Mr. Jemfi, just finally, if you may, he said though that he will lead his committee as a chair to probe this further and get to the specifics.
No, he's not interested in any probe. Clearly,
but he said that
position on this matter.
But he said that
he's
openly.
Not interested in unearthing the truth. This matter has already been investigated. We don't need another probe on this matter.
No, what he says is he needs to get to the heart of what the 12 million was used for.
No, but the Public Accounts Committee is currently seized with the matter.
But they didn't get to the bottom of this.
That they have asked MIF for further and better particulars. I mean, we are not even interested in the details. The bottom line is that you are taking taxpayers' money in this time of suffering, in this time of hardships, at the time we're even battling the COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay, Sammy, thank you very much. Mr. Thatcher, can you give us an indication of the timelines? When do you hope to trigger this process?
Almost immediately. It's come to the front burner, and we are not going to waste time at all to bring the MIF boss to come and give us the details. But you see, we shouldn't be emotive about this, because Agyapa is not running away anywhere. But I'm afraid if we are not careful and you are in an indecent haste to go to the press, when you yourself, if they should tell you that, do you know the consequence of 12 million, you can't tell the general public. And when, at the moment, I'm hearing for the first time that insofar as something is coming from the special prosecutor, then that is the law. Oh, please.
Mr. Thatcher, thank you very much. Sammy Jemfi, I'm grateful too. We look forward to the Mines and Energy Committee's probe into this. Adam Senanu, co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption, is on. Mr. Senanu, so you've had the details. Parliament's Mines and Energy Committee wants to do something about it. Where do you stand on this? Probing, prosecution, etc.?
Yeah, I think the probe, the additional, better and better particulars is very much needed. I am shocked, and I'm sure civil society in its entirety will be shocked that any payments were made, because we followed this thing closely. We had the Ministry of Finance, they made presentations, we asked for the assumptions leading to the returns that Ghana would have. They were not able to provide us. We made our stance clear that this didn't look like it was going to be in the best interest of the country. So it is shocking to hear that money was spent, whether for consultants or whether for an office premise. And even if it was sent for an office premise, have we jettisoned our interest and ensured that we retrieved our money back from that office? Have these consultants in good conscience, have we made sure we got the money paid back? What actions have been taken? We'll really be looking forward to what additional information PAC will get. And I think that ultimately, if the OSP needs to do a much more fine detail audit of what transpired, especially the processes. At what point was approval given for consultants to be engaged, paid, offices to be paid for, whilst all of us were disagreeing with the entire concept and in the way they were going? It's just shocking to hear that as much as $12 million has been spent on this.
Thank you very much. That is Adam Senanu there. Where do you stand on this? Send me a WhatsApp, 055-11-11997. Newsnight in a minute.
Great news is here. Batmat is here again. XXL clearance sale. Guaranteed savings. From now till the end of April, the big sale continues. Get discounts of up to 70% off sanitary wares, light tiles, waterproofing, and all other product families. It's the year to get things done. Visit our showroom at the North Industrial Area next to the Winners Chapel, Ghana. Don't miss out. Batmat, welcome home.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Newsnight. And this is your election headquarters. It is brought to you by Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity. Also today we launched our election headquarters. It is brought to you by Syntex tanks, a strong, a tough. Tonight the EC caves into pressure as it announces it will no longer ditch the indelible ink and will stick to the 7th December date for the 2024 elections.
We come to the conclusion that if by using the indelible ink, people will have more confidence in the process, why not? The Commission has resolved that we are going to have the elections come December 7th as we did in 2020.
We have details from the launch of our coverage of the 2024 election process, your election headquarters, where the Ghana Police Service is warning persons intending to foment trouble to not dare.
The whole country is a hotspot. So we are planning towards the whole country as a hotspot. We're leaving no stone unturned. And when it comes to individual issues.
While persons living with disabilities are not impressed with political parties' lack of clear action to deal with issues that are important to them.
A person with a wheelchair, a person with a visual impaired have mostly challenged when passing through our pavements. It's a problem through the public space.
And tonight we also ask who becomes what in Parliament as the National Executive Committee and the National Council of the New Patriotic Party consider a massive shake-up to the leadership of the majority side. We have all the details. Plus, tonight, race to the breaking of age of the governing New Patriotic Party takes shape following an approval of campaign team members presented to the National Council by the flag bearer. We have exclusive details for you. You want to stay with us for that and more here on your election headquarters in business.
Prices of diesel inches closer to 14 cities after leading oil marketing firms, including Gold, adjusted their values at the pumps.
And in sports, the Black Queens begin training ahead of clash against Zambia in the Olympic qualifier.
And then later on Newsnight, Waliwali Municipal Security Council bans the use of motorbikes beyond 8 p.m. in fresh measures to combat increasing armed robbery attacks in the area.
First of all, one of the decisions taken by MUSEC is to stop mobile money activities in Waliwali and its environs, about stopping of motor riding in the night in some hours.
Plus, what would you do to survive in this economy as a degree holder without a job? Well, a first-class graduate has found a unique path. He checks blood pressure for market women. We will tell you more. And if you are a patron of the Metro Mass Transit buses, get your tap-and-go card ready to make payment for the services as the company goes cashless.
When you tap, we know that Akwesi Agyapa has entered this bus. Also, you sit in your room, you buy your bus ticket, book it, and come and travel when you want to travel.
Indeed, this is your election headquarters. Is brought to you by Petrosol. Also today, as we launched the election headquarters coverage, we're proud to be associated now with Syntex tanks. Are you strong? Are you tapped? Tonight, the Electoral Commission has backed down on its plans to change the date for the 2024 election, as well as removing the indelible ink from the voting process. The EC had planned to move the 2024 elections to November, as well as implement a host of other new reforms, including moving from the use of indelible ink. But the opposition NDC and a section of civil society kicked against these proposed reforms, warning it was too late. Speaking exclusively to Joy News during the launch of our coverage of the 2024 elections today, the Deputy EC Chair, Dr. Bosman Asari, confirmed the Electoral Commission will no longer go ahead with these proposed reforms. Kweku Asante of our political desk reports from the launch of our coverage of the 2024 election process, where the NDC and the MPP have been committing to peace ahead of the polls.
Vowed to resist these proposed reforms every step of the way. The minority leadership in the House had announced plans to block any review of existing laws to make way for these reforms to take effect. It appears the NDC has had its way and the EC will no longer implement these reforms. Deputy EC Chair Dr. Bosman Asari says the indelible ink will still be used in the 2024 election.
The idea of using the indelible ink is like you are using 2 layers of verification. So the commission said if Mr. Evans Mensah is coming to vote, Mr. Evans Mensah will be verified electronically for us to know that indeed it's Mr. Mensah who has been verified. So when you want to go ahead and use the indelible ink, then clearly you don't have confidence in your biometric register. But as a listening institution, we've heard the concerns of the general public. We've heard the concerns of parliamentarians across the aisle, the MPP and the NDC, civil society members. And we've come to the conclusion that if by using the indelible ink, people will have more confidence in the process, why not?
The Deputy EC Chair also announced the 2024 election will go ahead on the usual date of 7th December.
And again, in terms of November or December, as you may be aware, we had a meeting with our political parties, and one of the major parties indicated clearly that they don't support the change of date from December to November in 2024. So as a commission, we know when the law requiring that to have such a change, you have to go to Parliament, to have 2/3 of the members of Parliament approving of that particular change. The commission has resolved that we are going to have the elections come December 7th, as we did in 20.
The Ghana Police Service is warning persons who intend to foment troubles at the polls to stay away. DCOP Gabriel Prince Wabu is Director of Research and Planning.
Hotspots. The whole country is a hotspot. So we are planning towards the whole country as a hotspot. We leave no stone unturned. And when it comes to like individual issues.
Perhaps a major highlight of the election headquarters launch is the two parties' major commitment to peace ahead of the 2024 election.
I, the Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, will uphold peaceful coexistence, peaceful elections to ensure there is peaceful governance after victory for the 2024 general elections. The NPP pledges to ensure that there is peaceful, will contribute our quota to peaceful elections and contribute our quota to peaceful coexistence.
Mustafa Bandi, the chief bodyguard of the General Secretary of the NDC, Honorable Fifi Javikote, as his deputy, I stand for peace before, during, and after 2024 election.
But with the economy set to be a key factor in the 2024 election campaign, former presidential candidate of the Convention's People's Party, Ivor Kobna Greenstreet, is not impressed with both the NDC and MPP's management of the economy.
They claim to care and they make statements that would imply that they care, but their actions and the facts that are obvious for everybody to see to demonstrate to them that all is not well with the state of the nation. They will claim that it's due to external forces or other reasons. And they will give us their usual platitudes and long stories.
Your election headquarters is launched now, and Joy News is now set to roll out a number of comprehensive programs, including the election brief, Ghana Connect, elections boys quarters, and a host of other captivating programs to help you make informed choices this election year. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante.
And let's stay a while longer with those announcements made by the Electoral Commission exclusively at our launch today. It's one that has divided opinions in Parliament. In fact, at one point, both the minority and majority sides united around asking the Electoral Commission not to ditch the indelible ink, the subject of the early voting in November, bringing the voting day from 7th December to a day in November was one also that divided opinions even in IPAC. Thankfully, the Electoral Commission says today at our launch that it's not going to happen. I want to bring in the national coordinator of the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, Albert Ahin. He's been sitting in IPAC meetings where this has been discussed. Mr. Ahin, thank you for your time here on Newsnight. What do you make of the EC's announcement today that these two very contentious matters are on the table?
Evans, thank you very much, and my greetings to your listeners. You remember I spoke about this some time back, that in the first place, the EC, with regards to the indelible ink, didn't do any consultation before making that announcement. So it's very pleasing to hear that they've rescinded that decision and want to go with the stakeholders. I think that is the right thing to do. And like you rightly said, this thing is going to bring peace to the process that we are about to go into. Once you listen to what the people are saying, I think it augurs well for the success of the operations ahead. So I think we should thank the VC for agreeing not to ban the use of the indelible ink, because some of us were scared about this because the machines sometimes break down, registers and all that, until maybe we get to a situation where we can rely solely on the biometric. I think we can go side by side with the indelible ink, because that is a sure backup. So we thank the EC for agreeing so that we can have peace.
And they've also shelved the idea of implementing the November voting day this year. Now they want to go ahead and have the law changed, but it will take effect in 2028.
Yes. I remember at the IPAC meeting, the alternative was that the process should start. So if they have agreed that the process should start, it's also good news, so that if they're able to start it, I think by 2028, this thing should work. And some of us actually believe in this 7th November issue, or this holding elections in November, because it will give even the political parties time to plan well if there should be any what do you call it? Is it by-election or whatever they call it?
Yes. If there's a runoff.
There should be an election that should.
If there's a runoff.
The runoff, that's right. That's the word I'm looking for. So the parties themselves will have time to prepare. The EC will also have time. And then the parties that are even going to hand over, if any, they would also have time to go through their handing over notes. And the transitioning, we believe, can be very smooth if they have enough time. If it's just within 1 month, immediately after the elections, it will be done in a rush. And things done in a rush are never always done right. So once again, I think the EC has listened to the people, and that should augur well for this nation.
And you've been sitting in IPAC with the parties where there have been serious disagreements. The NDC has been pretty vocal on this. Thankfully, the Deputy General Secretary, Mensah Apawu, joins us now. Mr. Apawu, good news, right? Because this is what you've been asking for all along.
Well, fundamentally, Ivan, thank you. I think that, first of all, it saves the EC of its dwindling credibility. They've just been exposed by a decision they advanced out of ignorance to, decision that the law exposes them, the decision that wasn't feasible in the first place, given the circumstances that we find ourselves. Technically and practically, it is impossible, beyond logic, for anyone to want to undertake private elections with indelible ink and then for public elections remove indelible ink in the name of budget when the Electoral Commission is not the entity that is in charge of budgeting. I mean, this road is not one that we must applaud the EC, but we think that we should not have a circumstance where public officials sensitive in a position like the Electoral Commission take decisions recklessly that undermine the peace and stability of our nation. Today, I have seen Bosman Asari in a pickup full of military officers and arms. For me, I believe that why should a public officer be escorted with this number of...
I mean, what has that got to do with the issues we're talking about? I mean, they've decided that, having listened to your concerns, they've shelved 2 essential policies and reform that they wanted to push forward. I mean, that has nothing to do with his bodyguards and vehicles, is it? I mean, you're happy fundamentally with the 2 decisions they've taken?
The Electoral Commission have been exposed both by law and by practice. It is not the case of a listening commission so that political parties or Ghanaians will think that they are people who listen. When we warned them and cautioned them about assembly elections, didn't they go and disgrace themselves? When we told them about the difficulties in the limited registration process, they went and disgraced themselves. So we are saying that as a party, we are willing to help the Electoral Commission undertake certain measures that will give us an assurance of credible, transparent election. And they should listen to the political parties as active stakeholders in the political process. If we do that, then we'll be advancing a conversation that will bring peace, that will bring stability, that will give Ghana a name, even a name that we have organized our election peacefully. Look, half of the world is going to election in 2024, and that I believe that Ghana is not an exception. We must take Ghanaians along in everything that we do so that we don't undermine the peace that we have enjoyed in our country.
And just for clarity, the voting in November, and the EC Deputy Chair clarifies that it is not on 7th November. That's not what they're going to propose to Parliament. It's going to be on a day. So they're going to propose, for example, the first Tuesday, the first Monday of November. It's going to be implemented in 2028. Is the party, if the NDC, in favor of that? Yes, change the law, but implement it in 2028.
We have said that all major reforms must be taken to 2028 so that
the Electoral Commission, together with all other political parties, would rather focus on giving the people of Ghana credible, free, transparent, and fair election. That is what Ghanaians are more interested in. Every single voter wants to ensure that he votes. Every single voter wants to see that we have birthed a president out of peace and cooperation among political parties. And the Electoral Commission, as referee of this exercise, should, cooperate with political parties so that we can give Ghanaians what they want. They should not be putting reforms that Ghanaians haven't asked for.
The parliamentary shake-up.
Mensah Apawu, thank you very much. That's there is a Deputy General Secretary of the NDC talking to us about the announcement today by the Electoral Commission that yes, this year's elections is going to be on December 7th. That's it. You had it on your election headquarters first. The debate has ended. EC says it's not going to happen. They would, however, start the process in Parliament to amend that particular law in the House and implement it in 2028. So yes, make your calendars, dust it up. It is on December 7th. And of course, if you're also concerned about indelible ink being withdrawn as part of the process this year, that too is going to stay. All was revealed today at the launch of the election headquarters. We'll bring you more on that pretty shortly, but I want to stay with the issues around hardcore politics because today, as you know, the NPP, the National Executive Committee and the National Council both have been meeting in the last few hours. On the agenda is considering Dr. Bawumia's list of individuals who constitute his campaign team. There have been suggestions that the meetings would also consider his choice for running mate. I want to bring in right now Samuel Mbura, who is at the venue for us and joins us right now. Samuel, what can you report? Do we have clarity yet on who these individuals are and whether or not the Council and the National Executive Committee have endorsed that list?
Well, Evans, I must say it has been a hectic day at Alisa Hotel. The National Executive Committee just got done with their meeting about 30 minutes ago. National Council is looking at the recommendation from the National Executive Council. So National Council had that mandate to agree or endorse or override whatever recommendations that the National Executive Committee will give. But the information that I've gathered is that the campaign team that the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has presented before NEC and then National Council has been approved. We are waiting for them to address the media in a GFE now. But what the names that we put out in our earlier, bulletin have featured heavily in that particular list that the committee has approved. So we are just waiting for the official announcement from the National Council that is almost done with this meeting.
And we know that as far as the list goes, you have advisors, from what I understand. Nana Akufo-Addo himself is still there as an advisor to Bawumia's campaign. J. Kufuor, Freddie Blay, Peter McMenu. Are these names that you've already picked up to and been confirmed on the ground?
Yeah, so I double-checked and then had to cross-check again with my sources, and I'm told that even if their names are not included in the list, automatically they become advisors because of the role that they have played in the party's elections. Taking into consideration that J. Kufuor is a former president, he has been through the elections. Akufo-Addo same, who is not going, so automatically it qualifies. And Mr. McMahon and co. have also supervised the elections of the party at the national level. So these are resources that they cannot leave behind getting into 2024 general elections.
And then we also been reporting Damboche coming back as the campaign chairperson. Fred Owari is also there. The Nakomia, who we know has been leading the Bawumia team when it comes to its communications and interactions with the media. That also remains something that the council will have to confirm.
Exactly, Evans. These are obvious names, and then they did not actually come as a surprise. And from the mood here, people actually expected it. So, though these individuals, as mentioned, are not here, but there's a strong indication that they are the people that are going to constitute the campaign team of the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So their names are actually part of those that we announced shortly.
Stay with me because, as we know, the National Executive Committee and the National Council meetings, we understand, will also have to consider what will happen to within its ranks in Parliament, including what we now believe to be a shake-up in Parliament on the majority side. My colleague Elton Broby had been working his sources and came through with what to expect.
Now, the proposal before the NEC is that Osei Mensah Bonsu is replaced with Alexander Fenyemakin as the majority leader for the MPP side in Parliament. Now, what will become of Osei Mensah? Because he's still a member of Parliament, what we are picking is up. He may be given a new position as chairman of the MPP's 2024 Manifesto Committee. That's what we are picking. Now, we also are aware that the Deputy Whip, Lydia Sarah Al-Hassan, has been nominated for ministerial appointment. Now, her position, we are told, will be taken by Patricia Piaget, who will now become the Deputy Whip. The Deputy Majority Leader, we are told, the proposal is that Frank Anodombre is moved from from Whip to Deputy Majority Leader. These are the names we are picking. It is a matter that has been put before NEC for next approval.
And Samuel is here with me from the venue. I believe it's the Alisa Hotel. And Samuel, are we close to getting firm confirmations of these from this meeting that is currently underway still?
Yes, what my colleague Elton has put out there are facts. However, I spoke with one of the high-ranking members in Parliament who was part of the meeting, and he tells me that that discussion, they had to jettison it at a point because there are a myriad of issues that they had to handle, taking into consideration that the parliamentary primaries in the constituencies with sitting MPs had some isolated cases. He mentioned specifically the Yende issue, so there was not enough time. But we should be expecting that. We don't know when they will have ample time to discuss that. But what Elton has put out there are the facts, but details of it was not actually discussed before NEC. Maybe if there are other developments after the National Council meeting, we'll definitely update. But for now, the details of that wasn't discussed.
Thank you very much, and we're keeping a close eye on that meeting. Once we know more, you will know too. I want to return to our launch today, the launch of the election headquarters. And this year, our theme for the coverage is towards an informed electorate. Everything we'll do from now till December 7 is just to empower you to make an informed choice when you enter into that polling booth. And today we crisscross the country, really, bringing you the voices of ordinary people from the Greater Accra region to Kumasi to Tamale, including the people like the president of the Greater Accra Region Market Association, Queen Mercy Afrowa Nijan, all had their say today. They've been telling Joy News what will influence their vote this year.
As the president of Greater Accra Market Association, we want our markets to be renovated. We should have proper car parks. We should have educational system in the market, health system in the market, fire service in the market, police in the market.
You have fire service at Makola?
Yes, but not all the markets. We have lots of markets that will have to run about 2 miles before they get to fire service. They should be with us.
Growing up as a youth in Ghana, so far the successive government and then the former government haven't met my expectations yet. Honestly, when you take issues of sanitation, that's my background. Let me start from there. When you take issues of sanitation, you come to the central of Ghana, which is Accra. As at 9 a.m., you see traffic, thinking that maybe there's a truck which is being causing the traffic. But you realize that you go and then there are huge sums of waste left. It can be 2 days, 3 days, and then this waste is causing traffic. Meanwhile, the government has contracted people, institutions to be dealing with sanitations in Accra. And then they neglect it. The government too, or the various stakeholders who are responsible to be checking all those things do not give an ear to it.
Talking about giving an ear to it, we also heard today from the persons living with disability. And we heard specifically from the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations. Mohamed Lansa was speaking to us, and they are concerned that political parties are not giving any ear at all to some of the issues of importance to them.
Accra, especially, we were facing transport challenges, especially when boarding public transports. It's very, very tedious, especially when we're taking it from the stations. You'll be seeing a lot of queues, and then the community will not even consider that this person is a person with disability, so let's consider him or her to take the seat first. And in our Disability Act 715, it is stated in the policy that when whoever is boarding a taxi or a car, the front seat must be preserved for the person. But Ghana here, it seems like the act is not actively working, and it's a challenge, especially boarding the transport. Moreover, to our movements, sometimes a problem when we are even passing through the public pavements. A person with a wheelchair, a person with a visual impaired are mostly challenged when passing through our pavements. It's a problem too.
So this is of absolute importance to him and others, and we're going to be doing a lot more in partnership with Star Ghana. We'll be traveling in the nook and cranny of this country with Ghana Connect. We just turned 18 with Women Power in Politics, speaking to people, holding town halls. We'll be in New Jabe. We'll be in a community near you, somewhere far-flung, somewhere very, very remote. Just talking to you and bringing your views into the conversation live. You want to stay with us here on your election headquarters. And remember that our theme this year, and join us for this, our theme this year is towards an informed electorate. This is News Night. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, in the heart of Accra's Opera Square, a first-class graduate in accounting demonstrates the unwavering spirit of unemployed graduates in Ghana in their pursuit of a dignified livelihood. Now, despite a staggering 13.4% unemployment rate, Nicholas has found a unique path to survive, checking the blood pressure of traders in the marketplace. Now, here is a story of resilience beyond degrees.
In a city where academic degrees don't always open doors, the story of a 36-year-old first-class graduate biting hard on the rope of unemployment opened my heart to embrace life in the best way possible. But before I tell you the story of Nicholas, ponder this. What would you do for work if your first-class degree could not earn you a white-collar job?
This market was my first place of contact. That was around 2013. I had only 2 cedis in my pocket and the machines were there. But to start was a challenge.
Nicholas is a 36-year-old husband and father of 1. He graduated top of his class from Methodist University, but for 10 years now, his office has been the bustling market center and his client, traders in the markets.
This is what I've been doing for a living. I take blood pressure and then sugar level. I take 2 cedis when checking the blood pressure and then 6 cedis when checking the sugar level. And then this is what I've been doing to support myself as a man in this economic hardship. I've been doing this work for the past 10 years. I started in 2013.
According to the World Health Organization, the burden of hypertension is very high in Africa, where 2/3 of cases are found. One pivotal way to manage the risks associated with hypertension is regularly checking blood pressure and consulting with health professionals. This is where Nicholas comes in, and to these market women, he's a lifesaver.
Me checking a brain na say my test pressure e cost a brain na ti oba no be check mama a e na o kire me say e normal ana e high.
This is something she does on a regular with Nicholas, and it helps them because they don't have the machines and the resources to constantly be going to the hospital.
To my best of knowledge, there is no regulation that requires that one must get a license before acquiring a glucometer or a blood pressure monitoring machine. So there are people who, for instance, they may not have the resources to acquire these items. And yes, so they are hypertensive and then they are diabetic. So the rationale behind this is that if there are people out there who can't afford to buy these items or this equipment, why don't I buy them and then do it for a fee? Even with what I'm doing, it has always been my wish that if the government will see this and then generate a policy out of it, in a sense that it is going, because I'm not the only person doing this, that it can train more of the younger ones, giving us accreditation or license so that we can offer what you call the paramedic services to the market women to augment the services that the hospital is providing.
For Joy News, I'm Sweetie Abochi.
And indeed, that was that wonderful report there by Sweetie Abochi. Let's now get into beat business. And coming up, price of diesel inches closer to 14 cities per litre after leading oil marketing firms, including Gold, adjusted their values at the pumps. And Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam warns Ghana's program with the IMF could be under threat if it fails to raise the required revenue going forward. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, Sintex Tanks, and Pepsodent Herbal and Charcoal.
Imagine strutting into the most anticipated wedding of the year. Only to see 7 other girls wearing your exact same outfit.
You are special and one of a kind, and that's why whether it's voice, data, or SMS, you get to enjoy personalized offers tailored to your specific needs with MTN Just For You. Dial *141# or select your options on the My MTN app to redeem your unique Just For You package on Ghana's best mobile network. MTN.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom. And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHS, Kumasi KNUST campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
Water is needed all day, all night. So remember Syntex Tank all day, all night. 7 years warranty. Select any color for free. In no the crack, in no the spoil. Call Accra on 0244 335 168. Kumasi 0505 555 666. Syntex Tank. A strong, a tough. Water is needed all day, all night. So remember Syntex Tank all day, all night. 7 years warranty. Select any color for free. In no the crack, in no the spoil. Call Accra on 0244 335 168. Kumasi 0505 555 666. Syntex Tank. A strong, a tough.
Central University, Ghana's leading private Christian university, has open admissions.
Apply now for a degree in environmental engineering, fashion design, landscape design, interior design, business administration, economics, law, civil engineering, architecture, computer science, IT, theology, and many others. Degrees are available on our campuses in Mutual, ICGC Christ Temple, Abosokai, and Kumasi. Also enroll in our MBA with various specializations. Scholarships are available for needy but brilliant students. Call us on 0303-318-583 or visit our website at central.edu.gh for more information. Central University, raising transformational leaders through faith, integrity, and excellence.
Beyond the star. Things are looking up on this side.
When you upgrade to the enhanced GCB mobile app, you start doing more with ease.
Create a GCB instant account easily and conveniently with your GCB mobile app and start sending and receiving funds. All you need is your Ghana card.
Pay your bills, subscriptions, and fees to multiple merchants safe and secure.
Charlie, tap the app, open a GCB instant account, and experience the recoded vibe.
You're able to top up on all types of ECG prepaid meters with their special card readers and keep the power on. No worries, no stress.
With GCB mobile app, you can also generate prepaid and virtual cards to use on ATM machines, POS devices, and for online transactions.
Well, I pay my subscriptions and fees with my GCB mobile app conveniently.
GCB mobile app. Download now from Google Play Store or Apple Store. Upgrade your style. GCB Bank. Your bank for life.
Hello, Auntie Araba. Hey, Bugger, how are you doing today? I want to buy Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, but I don't have enough money. So what are you going to do? Can you give me the big size? You know, as for me, I'll pay the balance later. Today, no credit. I haven't sold much this morning. If you don't have enough money for the big size, why don't you try the 120-gram pack? There's a 120-gram pack? Introducing the new Pepsodent Cavity Fighter in 120-gram pack size. More affordable and convenient. Get yours today from any supermarket near you. Every smile matters. This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to Business on News Now. The price of diesel is now getting closer to 14 cedis per litre. Now, this was after some of the leading oil marketing companies adjusted prices at the pumps. There is more in this Business Desk report.
Market leader Gold is selling a litre of diesel at 13 Ghana cedis, 99 pesos. Whilst Total Energies is selling a litre of diesel at 13 Ghana cedis, 95 pesos. The price per litre for diesel had been reducing in recent times, and that was linked to the cedi's marginal stability against the dollar last year, so as a recent introduction in prices of finished petroleum products on the international market. However, it appears that is changing based on the recent challenges with the Ghana cedi. But these are the prices that I've seen for just two of the leading oil marketing firms. However, Joy Business understands that other major oil marketing firms might be quoting similar values for diesel at the pumps very soon. Some of the oil marketing firms have started increasing prices of petroleum products at the pumps from over the weekend. This is in line with the two-week review in prices of petroleum products. The National Petroleum Authority had told Joy Business that they expect prices to go up by more than 5% this week. This might be one of the highest increment in fuel prices in recent times. This can be linked to the spike in crude oil prices on the international market, decision by the oil marketing companies to increase their margins, and the cedi's sharp depreciation against the US dollar earlier this month. Others are worried about the impact of this development and the possible increase in transport fares. This because the transport operators have warned that they will push for an increase in fares if prices of petroleum products also goes up on the local market, coupled with the emission levy that government has started implementing.
And that is the Business Desk report. Meanwhile, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers' Executive Director, Duncan Amwa, has maintained that consumers should be prepared to pay more for fuel as long as the Ghana cedi doesn't stabilize in the coming weeks.
The consumer is left in the middle, truly, or unless to say that the consumer should reduce the amount of fuel that they require for their day-to-day running so as to reduce costs. But as it stands, it is strictly between the managers of this economy to sustain the currency so that the net pricing window the cedi does not drag fuel pricing beyond our pockets. If that happens, then whether international market prices surge or they don't, or they remain stable, prices will have to go up because the cedi is not stable, it is not good enough, it is not sustainable. If the managers of the economy do well to stabilize the cedi, then you can come back to look at taxes, which are within, the two of them are within our control. International market price, we do not control and have no say about it. Once we can be able to control what is within our control, I think we should be well and good. Other than that, in March, I personally foresee prices going up again.
Duncan Amwa is the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. Now, Finance Minister Dr. Mensah and Emefa Apawu says Ghana will be in a dire situation if the country fails to meet some of the tax obligations under the IMF program. The minister is therefore urging the Ghana Revenue Authority to be proactive in addressing any gaps in line with revenue generation. The minister said this at the engagement with the commissioners of the Ghana Revenue Authority today at a meeting to outline some of the agenda in how to address the revenue challenges.
We cannot afford to miss our commitments under the program because the consequences will not be good for our country. So, Commissioner General, I take this opportunity to reiterate to you and your team the 3 key priorities that you have assured us that you will achieve under the program. Number 1 is cleaning of the GRA taxpayer register. Implement them, even though we are in the second month of the year.
Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam is the finance minister. Now, MTN Ghana has given the firm assurance that he has no plans of establishing the bank despite the strong growth in its mobile money business. The service has posted record growth over the years and is currently commanding more than half of 1 trillion cedis transactions for last year. But with the new regulation requirements, there are fears that the company might move into that line very soon. But Chief Executive of MTN Ghana, Solomon Dadebo, says there isn't any plan on that table, at least for now.
As of today, I mean, I have 0 plans of becoming a bank. I believe, we've worked really well with banks. We've collaborated in various ways. And for the meantime, I mean, our role is to partner with banks and continue to expand the fintech ecosystem.
So because at the group level, some would say you have more power now to push that agenda, looking at how your Momo business has thrived in Ghana here and all the rest.
Well, I'll be in group on April 1st. I'll let you know.
Finally, on AI, and you talked about that.
Solomon Dadebo is the Chief Executive of MTN Ghana. Now, Consolidated Bank Ghana has partners beverage manufacturing firm Casapreco to raise money from the public to finance its expansion as a business. According to the Managing Director of Consolidated Bank Ghana, Daniel Wilson-Addo, they are in a better position to manage the perceived risk of indigenous and large enterprises that face challenges in accessing long-term financing for their growth and development.
On the one part, Casapreco would have the capital to first of all grow its business, have the capital for working capital that is needed to be able to satisfy its customer base. And at the end of the day, would be able to put together a structure around the funding of its balance sheet that would make economic sense for the company. In the way we deal with the perceived risk. Said before, I say it again, our business is not to run away from risks. Our business is to manage those risks.
Leonardo is the Managing Director of Consolidated Bank Ghana, and even so, that's all for Business on News Night. Thank you very much, George. You're still live here on News Night. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, the Wale Wale Municipal Security Council has banned the use of motorbikes beyond 8 p.m. in a fresh measure to combat increasing armed robbery in that particular area. Now, additionally, mobile money vendors are no longer permitted to operate beyond 5 p.m. According to the MCE, the new arrangements were in reaction to last week's attack in Wale Wale Township, where 2 people, including a mobile money operator, were killed and at least 7 others hospitalized. Now, speaking after attending the funeral of the slain mobile money operator, the MCE called on the residents to be cooperative and help the security services to restore adequate security. Elias Tanko has more.
Exactly a week today, and at about 6:30 p.m., 3 armed men launched a violent attack targeting a mobile money service provider who was seated right here at this very spot. Eyewitnesses confirmed that the robbers, after robbing the mobile money vendor, pursued him in his flight and knifed him multiple times in the abdomen before opening gunfire to finish him off. The robbers, while fleeing, also opened fire on the crowd, injuring at least 8 other persons at the scene. At the hospital, 2 of the victims, including the mobile money operator identified as Rabiu Bilal, were confirmed dead, whilst the injured are still battling for their lives at the Tamale and Bolga hospitals respectively. In a swift response, however, the police were able to arrest 2 young men in connection to the attack. Speaking over the weekend at the funeral of the mobile money operator in Walewale, the municipal chief executive Arimi Osomolaki condemned the barbaric attack and commended the police for the swift reaction.
I just want to thank the IGP and the Ghana Police Service for what they have done. They have restored confidence back to the people of Walewale and Maputo.
The municipality has been recording a surge in robbery attacks since 2021, with at least 15 attacks occurring each year. The armed gangs are said to target market women and mobile money service providers in their localities by capitalizing on the poor road network and the inadequate and ill-equipped police in the municipality to attack their target and escape capture. More than 5 robbery attacks have been reported already since the beginning of the year, leading to deaths and loss of properties. However, this latest robbery attack has caused an atmosphere of nervous apprehension among the residents about the safety of their lives and properties.
The security situation in the municipality is very disturbing. If you consider the number of lives that has been lost to robbery attacks in Walewale, it is just so alarming and worrying.
The municipal chief executive announced new security arrangements to be implemented to combat the insecurity in the municipality caused by the robbers.
First of all, one of the decisions taken by MUSEC is to stop mobile money activities in Walewale and its environs from the hours of 6 p.m. Whilst other decisions are to be taken, which are not yet confirmed, about stopping of motor riding in the night in some hours in the Walewale township and then its environs. Periodic search of houses, periodic search of places are going to be done to make sure that we bring all perpetrators to book. Also, we'll be looking at areas that we think that the crimes are being committed, and we should take action.
The MCA also appealed to the authorities in Accra to retool the police service in the municipality with more personnel and logistics to combat the crime.
And if you're in that part of the country, we want to hear from you tonight on News Night. And talking about hearing from you, let me share a few of your messages on our WhatsApp console with you and the rest of the world. This one from Senna says what Deputy EC Chairperson have just said is totally true, so the political parties must accept it. Ajiman in Community 9 in Tema says, I wonder why it's only the political parties in the opposition that most of the times do not agree with the EC now. Why can't we understand the issues of biometric hands, arguing the use of indelible ink? Nana Ekwamwa says the current reshuffle in the MPP leadership in Parliament is welcoming, particularly where Alex Nafanyomarking and Frank Anadompere is majority leader and deputy respectively. I know they are well capable to handle the portfolio. What is for Caesar, give it to Caesar, but I can't trust the EC. He says, but I can't trust the EC. We have to be vigilant, he says. A few of your messages on the WhatsApp console now. And a final one on the subject of the 12 million that was spent on the Agyapa deal. It says, is this MPP government that wants to break the 8? You just waste $12 million for no work done, is another question that he's asking there. You're live on News Night. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. I want to take you back to Parliament, this time to the Public Accounts Committee, where there have been heated exchanges today between the Minority Member of Parliament for South Dai, Roxanne Nelson Dafiamekbo, and the Ranking Member on the Public Accounts Committee, Kofi Otri Ejekum. And it happened when questions came up about how much government has incurred in the planned construction of the Keta port. Now, the Keta port construction project has become a controversial subject after government appointed a director for the facility even before any fiscal work could begin in the area. The matter resurfaced at the Public Accounts sitting today when Member of Parliament for Keta constituency Kwame Jijoli Gakpe raised a public interest question about the current state of the project, when the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority appeared before the committee. Now, first, listening to the response of the Deputy Transport Minister, Hassan Tampoli.
Having done the market sounding, we are currently doing the environmental impact assessment, and that takes a bit of time just to take care of, all the necessary requirements asked by environmental protection and agency standards.
Look, I've heard about Keta for several years. When is it going to take you for you to put, a pickaxe to the ground and start building? How long does it take for an environmental study?
Sharon, that will be answered better by the EPA, because they have to work within their law, their guidelines, and their framework. And we don't need to second guess when they'll be able to do that.
How much have we spent so far on this Keta port?
Mr. Chairman, it will be difficult to say it right now. So if you can, we can defer so that at the right time we can get the necessary information from the committee.
Let me bring in my colleague, James Abeji, who was at the Public Accounts Committee sitting today. James, let's track back a bit. Let's start with the details around this very controversial project. We know that the president cut short for construction to begin in August 2020. What more do we know about progress of work?
Evan, so as we speak, there is no physical construction going on the site. But as you said, even before the president cut short in August 2020, on March 19, 2019, there was a letter signed by then Transport Minister Kweku Ofori-Siama, who signed a letter of appointment of one Dr. Alexander Eduse, who per the letter was supposed to serve as director of the Keta port, and that is where the controversy started. He was supposed to be on a monthly salary and allowance of 150,000 Ghana cedis.
Salary of 150,000?
150,000.
Salary?
Yes, and allowances of 150,000 Ghana cedis. Now, and so that was sparked the controversy. Now, when you go to the website of the International Trade, they provide some specifics about this construction. It's supposed to cost government some $600 million, and it's supposed to come in 4 phases. Now, if you listen there, you would hear the deputy minister talk about some study going on. Now, according to that website, they say that as at 2021, government had completed feasibility study on the construction of the project. What was ongoing at the time in fact, it says that the GPHA is carrying out a social and environmental impact assessment during the first quarter of 2022. When it is completed, the GPHA will start processes of seeking interested investors and developers for the project. And so this environmental impact assessment actually started in 2022, and that's what the minister says is still continuing.
So they're still not done.
Yes.
Almost 2 years on. What was the concern of Roxanne Nelson about the project?
Yeah, so if you hear there, the vice chairman of the committee, Honorable Mills, raised the question about the actual cost. The minister says, let's defer it. He holds the position that the minister needed to produce the figure because this is not the first time the question has come up, but they keep dodging the question.
Honorable Minister, the issue of the Keta seaport is of emotional importance to our people. And for the past 4 years, we've been told that there's a certain director for the Keta seaport. If you go to the site, it is symbolized by a metallic sandboard with 2 containers. And we continue to be told before this committee that something is being done. How long does it take for a feasibility studies? If the project would take off, why appoint a whole director in charge of such a project?
Mr. Chairman, the same chairman, the same question. Mr. Chairman, I think this question has been asked, and
yes, the question has been asked.
I am saying that the matter of the Keta seaport is whimsically treated. Anytime we ask questions, we just ask how much has been spent. For the past 4 years, we are told that it's not known. But there's a substantive director occupying office, taking salary for an empty space. It's not about finding a question. And this is the place.
And that there is Roxanne Nelson, This is something that we need to dig in a bit more and understand what has happened to that particular project. Let's do sports now. And Ms. Bao is here with the latest.
Yeah, Evans. Well, all eyes are on the Black Queens now because they've got a crucial game against Zambia to qualify for the Olympic Games later this year. To be the first time the Black Queens will be at the games if they're able to defeat Zambia come Friday. Now, one midfielder who previously played for England, she's called Frida Eyisi. She has been called up to the women's national team for the first time, and she's been speaking to my colleague Lawrence Beidou about what it means for her to represent her motherland after representing England in the initial stages of her career.
When the Black Queens regroup for the two fixtures against Zambia, one player people will be looking forward to is Charlton Athletic midfielder Frida Eyisi. The former Arsenal player has been given a maiden call-up to the Ghana senior women's national team for the upcoming third-round Olympic Games qualifiers. She makes the switch to represent Ghana after playing for England earlier in her career. Eyisi believes the timing is now right to wear the colours of the West African side.
It's a great achievement. I can't wait to play with the girls. I'm looking forward to it.
Under the Swiss trainer, the Black Queens have had a near-perfect record, losing just one of their 11 games since she took over in 2023. In that period, there have been 10 wins for the team, with a staggering 34 goals scored, while they have conceded just twice. Eyisi believes Ghana has a good team, and she's hopeful, adding her quality could spark the team to their first ever appearance at the Olympics.
Yeah, so that's my colleague Lawrence Beidou. We're all waiting for that game at the Crossport Stadium on Friday. And just a little update from the Black Stars. You're still looking for a new coach, and the name that has popped up now is Otto Addo. We understand is leading the pack to become the next coach of the Black Stars, and that's report following initial stage of interviews that has been carried out on interested applicants. Otto Addo. Otto Addo, who led Ghana to Qatar 2022.
Who then abandoned us and went back to Dortmund.
Yeah, so it's generated some controversy on many platforms there, but even that's it.
Well, if you don't know where you're going, many paths will lead you there. Anywhere, in fact. Now, many coastal communities are known for the high incidence of teenage pregnancy. But here in Accra's coastal community of Jamestown, some adolescent girls are defying the norm to change the narrative, despite the tempting desires to engage in vices, including early sex and abuse of drugs. They have resorted to helping their mothers sell at the beach to raise money to pursue their dreams. Now, Joy News's Adobe Asari has been interacting with them and has come through with this report.
In the coastal town of Jamestown, a group of young girls find themselves at crossroad. While some chose the path of leisure and loitering about the bustling market square, others have embraced a different journey.
Some of the young ladies I see in this community do nothing but loiter about. Some indulge in all sorts of vices and get pregnant when they are not ready to have children.
Among these diligent girls is Rita Tego, a spirited young girl who, instead of spending her days in idling about, has dedicated herself to helping her mother sell the day's catch at the beach.
I'm here to help my mom. It's not like I don't have anything to do or I don't have a goal to attend school, but I completed school last year at Odogono Senior, and I'm in the house. I'm not doing anything. I have to help my mom for her to get money. So this year by this time I'll be attending university. It's good too, because if I'm sitting home, I'm not sure that I'll get some pocket money to get something to do.
Not far away is Princess Ado, a savvy entrepreneur in the making who is committed to pursuing her own venture. Armed with creativity and resilience, she braids and makes wigs by night and helps her mother by day at the shore.
I come to the seaside to help my mother sell her fish. I have my own handiwork I do to earn some money as well. It is not as if I despise my mother's fish business. In fact, I have been helping her for a very long time now. I just love to braid. I have knowledge about everything with regards to hairdo, and I am focused on doing that and doing it well to be able to fend for myself.
In life. As the day unfolds, the contrast between these two groups become apparent. While some young girls reveled in carefree afternoons. Others navigated the challenges of entrepreneurship, learning invaluable lessons that echoed through the town.
And as always, you can catch that entire feature on our social media platforms. You should just watch it for yourself. Brilliant piece indeed, telling us the stories of these girls along that coastal belt of the Greater Accra region. And it's also on myjoyonline.com and also on the Joy News channel. Watch the Joy News Prime right now. You will find it there. But the best place to catch it is across our social media platform: YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, Twitter, and others. And that's it for News Night tonight. My name is Mensah. You want to stay with Anansa Kwao. Preparing for an extinct future is a topic he is talking about tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening.